And they ended up really liking all of them. I brought them like 6 pieces, and they were like, we'd love to just test them out. And I remember the feeling of the first time I walked by the store, 2 weeks later, and our pieces were in their window in a showcase space. And I just remember that feeling, thinking, oh my goodness, these prayers are being passed out to other people now. And it just was like a light bulb moment for me. It was like, I felt like I'd been waiting for something. I knew I loved soccer, and it was easy to say yes to that, but I had a hard time transitioning out of that. So I felt like I had spent the last 2 years of my life, with kind of an open heart, being like something, waiting for my inspiration, waiting for that moment. And I didn't know it was kind of sitting in front of me the whole time. And, the minute you see somebody, wearing your piece and the impact that it can have on their lives, you realize the reach that you can have. So I felt like I could touch the lives of the girls that I was coaching on a daily basis, but I didn't feel like I was reaching, that many people. And the interesting part of Mariamor is that I can reach more people in a day than I ever thought possible. I can, spread love and inspire others more than I ever dreamed of. And I, I've always been one for affirmation and optimism and love and kind of making the day better of whoever I come across. And I feel like with Mariamor and our inspirational messages on each one of these prayers or these pennies from heaven, the reach is just, spectacular. And I'm so grateful for, it kind of taking off after that first boutique. It kind of took off. A couple other boutiques picked us up. Mm-hmm. We started selling them at just little art shows in the area, and watching the faces of the people that saw the messages and seeing how, just that little piece of joy, that little piece of inspiration, that little prayer, how much it can affect one person's life was just shocking to me. And it made my heart, I felt like, not that my heart was small before, but I felt like the Grinch in the Christmas movie when your heart grows 3 times that size. And I never went back. I jumped in and went 100 miles an hour in that direction, and I've never looked back. And it's been the most wonderful journey.
I love how this thing got picked up. Now, if I can just make a funny sidebar here real quick. Are you still checking the train schedule and hitting the tracks with your coins, or have you? How you doing?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So no, we stopped going to the train tracks once I left College Station. It got a little bit dangerous, actually. You think you hear trains coming, and then turns out you don't really hear them coming. So I would spend, hours on these tracks, and I would place, 30 of them over, because I was consistently horrified that I was like, if I put them too close together, I'm going to derail a train.
Yeah.
So I would walk, several hundred yards and place like one every, 30 yards. I didn't want them so close to where I would ever, affect the tracks or the train. So you're walking on these tracks trying to find, because when the train runs over them, they don't just fall down, they shoot out.
Uh-huh.
And then funny how much nickel looks like a rock when it's flat. So you're walking down the tracks and you're focused on trying to find the missing coins. You're like, I know I put down 30 of them and I've only found 16. So you spend hours out there trying to find them, and you kind of forget that trains are on these tracks. And well, we had a bit of a close call, and we thought we'll find a new solution. So we started, hammering them with these giant sledgehammers. My right arm got really strong there for a while.
I bet.
So I'd find a rock outside and just, go to town and just pummel this thing. But yeah, coins are very hard. the pennies are a little bit softer, but the quarters and the nickels are a bit of a nightmare. So trying to find ways to flatten them was quite the process. It wasn't until even probably 3 months after I left Pepperdine that I found a solution for rolling them flat. It's I can use something to roll them flat instead of crushing them physically with a hammer.
Right, sure. Where do you get these messages from? Because I'm looking at your website now, and you have you've got such a variety of messages and how you've laid them out. Are they inspired from others? Are they just thoughts that come to your mind? Where do these come from?
Another good question. So I mentioned waiting for inspiration earlier when we were speaking. Every one of the coins on our website was inspired by something. So I come up with at least one message a month, and we kind of have a theme of the month that goes along with called our Love Club. And every month we send out a different coin, a brand new coin that was inspired by something that month or the month before. And then I plan a kind of a message around that inspiration. So, I mean, it could be as little as a flower that bloomed, from Tuesday to Wednesday in front of my house. And it was just like, wow, that was incredible. And that's how we came up. You are the one who can fill the world with sunshine. So it was, little things can really, if you open your eyes to them, there are little things in every day that can inspire you. So one of the messages that I came up with, it says, smile beautiful. And there was this little, somebody on a bathroom stall actually had written, smile, you are beautiful. And I was so flattered. I was in this bathroom stall completely by myself and thought that was so sweet.
Yeah. How funny.
And just so little things will inspire, each message for the coin. I had one that says, it says, inhale joy and exhale love. And I loved that one. It was actually came from my sister's, maid of honor speech at my wedding. So it could be anything that happens throughout the month. But I find that when my eyes and my heart are open to finding inspiration, it comes back to me. So each one of those messages has been inspired. They each have a story like the one I just told you, or those three. They each have their story about how that message came to be.
So dig in for the last few minutes here on how business is today. I see that you guys have had some celebrity hits. Looks like Maria Bello from NCIS is wearing your product, and you've gotten a lot of coverage there. I mean, how is business? Has it taken off, or are the stores doing really well?
Yes. So we've actually, we never really, after that first 8 months, we never really went after boutiques as much. It was more, I really liked the feeling of getting to know our customers personally. Mm-hmm. And since it was a small business, and it was, especially at the beginning, it was really just me right now. So now my mom, helps a ton. She's in here almost every day. My dad helps a lot at shows and events. And now my sister is in here as well, helping now that she's graduated. But at the beginning, it really was just me, and I didn't have the resources to go out and sell to a bunch of different boutiques and have those. I didn't feel like I could give them the attention that they deserve. So we kept the ones that we had at the beginning, all of the boutiques that we had, from the start. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of started to grow in these shows and these events, and eventually into the e-commerce side of things. But I'd say it's been a fun transition going from, only in person, where I got to meet every single customer, which I loved, to going to more of an e-commerce business, where I only get to talk to people online. So that's been a bit of a bummer, but it's been interesting. But I think trying to find a way to connect with our customers and hear their inspiration, their why, why they chose the message that they did, why they picked the prayer that they did, is really something that I'd like to, figure out a way to encourage and to facilitate a little bit better. But other than that, business is amazing. We are actually expanding. We were doing specifically our coin jewelry, and again, the amount of love that you can see with one coin to one person was spectacular. And I felt like we can do more. We can spread more love than we're spreading now. And how do we do that? So we're actually expanding into over the next 3 or 4 months. And we are kind of branching out into a couple different channels, which is really exciting, but all inside of that inspirational umbrella. We want to bring more love to more people, and how to do that is kind of where we're headed now. So we're really excited to be growing Mariamor, just yes, we do have, a few celebrities wearing our pieces, which is amazing. But we feel like, we can reach even more people, in these new avenues. And we're just so grateful for all of the support. We announced, some of this expansion a few weeks ago on our social media and through our Love Club, and the support that we've received from our customers, AKA our friends. I don't like to think of them just as customers. They're each very important to me. And so I'm so grateful for all of their support and their love that they've showered us with. And, we've had people, saying, what can we do to help? How can we help? How can we, bring more inspiration to more people? And I'm just so grateful and so blessed to have been surrounded by, family, friends, customer friends that are willing to support this journey.
Well, I think it's an incredible business built on what appears to be a lot of love and giving, and with a positive message. And I think so often that gets overlooked in society, not only in our businesses, but in our personal. And I really appreciate what you're doing and sharing your story, because I think it's an important one. And I also appreciate that you've created a business out of something that came from love and kind of this neat little passionate story about the jar of coins. So congratulations to you and your business and your family and all the support that you've gotten over this time period. How can people find your product? What's your website? Where can we find the latest and greatest from you?
Yeah, so we have a website. So right now it's mariamordesigns.com. So MARIAMOR designs.com. Mariamor is actually my name and love in Italian pushed together. So again, back to that love thing. So that's how you can remember it. And then we have social media accounts under @Mariamor Designs, under Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. We're out and about. So, anywhere you guys find us, most of the time you'll probably get me if you reach out. Sometimes you'll get my sister, but for the most part, you'll probably get me. And I'd love to meet you and hear about your why and your inspiration behind each one of your pendants or your life. So yeah, feel free to reach out in any of those avenues, and I'd love to meet you.
Mary, I don't think I'll ever pick up a coin again and not think about you and your messages. So what an important deal. I'm sure that anybody that listens to this show will feel the same. So thank you for sharing your story and taking the time to be on our show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us. Again, we're so grateful, and we're excited to keep listening to all of your amazing podcasts.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to today's show. It is my pleasure and honor to interview all of the guests that have been on the Answer is Yes podcast. If you have enjoyed the show, please go on iTunes and subscribe, give a rating, or simply tell a friend about the show. We also believe in the message of our guests and the positive influence of their stories. As my own mentor and coach, David Meltzer, has taught me, Spend some time every day thinking and writing about the things in your own life that you have more than enough of. You will find out how blessed we really are. Please visit